Hello guys, this is me, Jewel here, and I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario Party 6 for the Nintendo GameCube. So last time, we actually did manage to win through Castaway Bay, the 5th board in the game, and despite how fast that is, but I will still say though, is the fact that we still managed to able to dominate it all, especially noticeable with the forms of, you know, a lot of usage on dice rolls, and also just use so many orbs to able to actually figure out the strategy involved, and also throughout the same time that I keep on winning a lot of minigames as to be expected. So yeah, today for the majority of this weekend, ranging from the 9th of October to the 10th of October, is the fact that we are moving on to the final board in Mario Party 6, at least to be more specifically in the party mode. This what appears to be Clockwork Castle. And this board is actually the unlockable board, by the way, and as I said this before since the very beginning of this Let's Play, to unlock this board is that you need to purchase for about 100 stars in the Star Bank, and once you get enough stars on the Star Bank, you would be able to actually unlock this board. So because of this though, and what's interesting with this is that this is not going to be a Bowser themed board, unlike the ones and how it does it in Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 4, and Mario Party 5. So because of this though, it does manage to take place in any above the skies above. Although technically there was a Bowser themed board, but only in the solo mode, you know, solo mode, and that's pretty much about it. Which I'll explain more about that whenever we're able to get into the solo mode and during at some point in next weekend. So because of this, yeah, let's get started with Clockwork Castle. And as you can see, DK, or Donkey Kong, he's now going to be walking around in the board. However, here's the thing though, is the fact that we need to meet up with Donkey Kong, and then if you meet up with him, you have to able to pay 20 coins to buy a star. And as you can see, we actually got ourselves 3 different colored pipes, which are red, green, and grey with a red cross on top, meaning it's like inaccessible. And if you manage to get into those warp pipes on the corresponding colors, you can able to actually take some alternative paths you can take, and also some quicker shortcuts if you really want to meet up with DK. And there's also some happening spaces, which basically sometimes they manage to change different colors with these pipes. And also there's another one over there where you can get yourselves an item freebie. And also there's another one in over there, and also like over there. I believe that one over there, if you land on that, this strange UFO managed able to come straight to you, and then they'll just take you all the way back to the beginning of the board. And also some other 2 happening spaces, ranging from, you know, Twilight's house alongside with Brighton's house. Now, if you manage to land on that Brighton's house in that happening space, and only in daytime, basically you would able to get something between 2 different treasures. You know, kind of like how it did in the forms of, you know, Bowser Nightmare from Mario Party 5. However though, the thing is, this time around though, it's actually good events, instead of the negative effects. So meaning about the fact that some chests managed to able to contain 20 coins, or something like that, or if you're lucky enough, you get a star. And this also applies to Twilight's house as well, but only at nighttime. So because of that though, if you manage to able to land on Twilight's house in daytime, nothing will happen. And then same applies to if it's in nighttime, if you've landed on the, you know, Brighton's house, then you would obviously that nothing else will happen. So it's a bit of a coincidence for able to actually notice something like this happens today. So but anyway, today's day is of course the 9th of October today, in this case in 2021 today, and some interesting stuff has been happening during the course of yesterday. That's what appears to be by the forms of, well, first of all, No Time to Die in the North American's release has now finally came out on the big screen. So at least I was expecting that North American James Bond fans out there will be very hyped about this, especially noticeable that I think I already mentioned about my thoughts about No Time to Die back on Castaway Bay board. So because of that though, I was really pleased able to finally get a chance to watch it after several delays, and it's just madness, I'm telling you, it's just madness. But I digress. And speaking of yesterday, though, is the fact that also yesterday is the fact that Metroid Dread, the new 2D Metroid game, has recently came out yesterday. So I was really looking forward for that title. And also is the fact that you know, the new Nintendo Switch OLED model also came out yesterday as well, so it's like a double celebration between these two amazing stuff, ranging from a new Metroid game and also another Nintendo Switch model. Even though some people are kind of upset about the fact that they don't support you know, 4K and everything, but at least because of how the fact that, unfortunately though, because they're out of sorted, well, I'm pretty sure it's likely because of the forms of they are running out of the forms of specific microchips that are usually capable of 4K or something. But I might be guessing about this, but even though I might be wrong about that, but either way, I keep on getting ones for some reason. And also, if you couldn't tell already, it's the fact that every time you bypass these little platforms, depending on if it's either day or night, basically, if it becomes day, basically those three platforms on the left will crumble and then it'll switch it over. You know, kind of like how it did in Sweet Dream from the likes of Mario Party 5, and except the fact that, well, I think DK might able to actually just to get, yeah, the highest roll. Because if he does manage to able to eat a banana, for example, right there, that he might actually act out as like a double dice set. And because of this though, you're pretty much guaranteed able to get a massive movement right there. And I'm pretty sure he will go right where Luigi is. So basically, you're forced to able to pay 20 coins if you manage to stay in place while DK managed to meet up with you. However though, if you go straight towards DK, you do have an option to either ignore it or pay 20 coins as much as you can. But here's the catch though, is the fact that if you meet up with DK during the course of that specific option, basically Donkey Kong will able to actually go someplace else. So that might be something worth noting for that sake of that particular mechanic. Oh, we have ourselves another mic minigame, and this time we are doing Word Heard. Could be something more accurately just trying to make these Goombas manage to able to split up or something like that. So, one player shouts orders to herd of the Goombas away from the other players, who will try to punch them out of their coral. So, yeah, that might be stuff worth noting for. So I'm gonna say up, down, right, left, or scramble, and we're gonna have to require a microphone in order to do it. So this seems pretty easy as such. And of course we're gonna be doing this in daytime, so yeah, we might as well able to expect by this point. So yeah, let's begin. Up. Down. Scramble. I have no words to say about this point. Even though that, again, much like the forms of shoot your mouth off, basically you can able to say whatever commands you want to say. But the only thing is though, is the fact that I think I've lost track of myself with what some specific stuff I was trying to say. But come on, get away from them! Get away! Finish! Oh, that's a lot of like, you know, shouting and everything right where the Goombas are. But either way though, I think we've done 2 mic minigames so far out of 5 because, well, we'll point it out whenever we're able to come across into sometimes eventually, whilst other times though, we'll save it up until its own mode. So either way though, that might as well expect it by that point. So, alright, so looks like Luigi's gonna get himself a 3, so I don't think that's gonna be that much in terms of that specific dice roll in mind. And let's see what Waluigi's gonna do. He's not gonna use his golden shroom or super shroom just yet, but at the very least he's gonna land on that blue space, so. And also during around that time is the fact that, speaking of Metroid Dread, originally I was expecting to able to get that game day 1, but unfortunately though, I have to wait until Monday coming up, because on Monday, the 11th of October, it will be once again my birthday celebration. So because of that, I'm gonna be 24 for this year. So because of that though, geez, I'm actually getting really old at this rate. Although, mind you, it might as well happen during at some point in the future. But we'll just say this right now is the fact that I'm actually really hyped about my birthday coming up than the likes of how terrible last year was. Although don't get me wrong, I did have some good gifts back in the day in 2020, despite how bare bones that year can be. But usually I got some interesting gifts, like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog movie on Blu-ray for the HD quality and everything that runs on my PS4 and such, and also Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on the PlayStation 4, and also Star Fox Command, and also Crash Bash on the PlayStation 1, and even especially noticeable with the forms of some James Bond films every once in a while, License to Kill, and Live and Let Die, and what else did I somehow got? I suppose that's pretty much about it, I must be honest here, although, despite the fact that there's not much else new related releases back in last year, because, well, you know what I mean, things get a little bit more rushed, and, well, not so much rushed, but it's just that it just feels kind of, well, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say at this rate, because, well, I'm just pretty dang excited able to see what kind of gifts I might as well get for, specifically on Monday, so even then, I'm very curious to see what's going to be up. Although, unfortunately, I don't think I can mention about this during the course of, well, today, because obviously that I'm still waiting until 2 days from now, and I'm sure enough that Blue will be sorted out for the actual birthday celebration at this rate in time, so... But anyway, no, let's just go ahead and do Treasure Trawlers again, and it looks like I somehow still win. Even though despite the fact that I got a bob bomb from the get-go, but regardless of such though, I still managed able to claim my victory regardless of anything else. Oh yeah, and by the way, in regards of the forms of the nighttime of this board, basically, as you notice, is the fact that since we actually went into, like, the left direction, well, in nighttime, well, basically, Twilight is gonna change the directions, meaning we're forced to have to go to the right. And also during that time, DK has been switched over to Bowser, so this means we have to stay away from Bowser as much as possible, because if you meet up with Bowser, much like the forms of Castaway Bay, if you meet up with him, you lose a star, so because of that though, yeah, that could be a bit too much for my taste. Although, if you don't have a star, much like in Castaway Bay, you will still lose 20 coins if you meet up with him if you don't have a star. So because of that, yeah, you just have to stay away of Bowser at all costs, and that's all you have to do here. The only negative thing I can think about for this board, to me though, is the fact that it has a lot of emphasis on randomness involved. Most notably with dice rolls, for instance, because if you don't manage to able to get yourselves a good numbers during that time, basically you're gonna get doubly screwed over thanks to the forms of those ridiculous dice rolls for certain low numbers, which I'm always, like, incredibly nervous about. But, regardless of everything else though, this board does look pretty cool though, but it's just that there's only one major downside to this board, and that is something to do with, like, dice rolls can be a bit of a problematic, I feel like. So, and I believe back in the day, I think I was in 2012, despite the fact that it's no longer there anymore, that I remember that Mickey Mouse did manage able to lose this board due to the forms of keep on meeting up with Bowser most of the time, and also during the course of the amount of dice rolls that he constantly getting, that he just keeps on getting screwage. So, and that was also the day before when we did manage to able to prepare for Mario Party 7 with a rushed daily basis when it comes to uploading anything. So, but even then though, we're still waiting for Mario Party 7 at some point until in 2022, as we stated that earlier. So either way though, and it looks like Bowser's going to be able to get his chance to move, and he's going to use his flamethrower, meaning that he'll be able to have 2 dice blocks. So, let's see, 9 and an 8. Oh, that sounds like a deadly number. Especially noticeable for that dice blocks in mind. And I get the feeling that Bowser might be able to meet up with Luigi, if I recall correctly. Is he? Yes, he is. Yeah, So yeah, basically, yeah, you forced able to take a star away from Bowser, so because of that, well, looks like Luigi got screwed after the success for the third, or actually it's like a second turn actually, and as a result, then he got screwed over on the fourth turn, so that seems unfortunate for Luigi. But anyway, and there's also another happening space, and basically it happens to be at the very top of the board. And basically what that does is that this allows you to able to change between either day or night, depending if you're able to time your the actual arrows stopping motion well enough. So because of that, that might be pretty useful though, especially noticeable if you really want to meet up with DK again, then you can able to do that. So anyway, so let's go and do some snowball fights again, and well, as you probably doubted by now is the fact that much like in Mario Party 3, Mario Party 4, Mario Party 5, Mario Party 9, Mario Party DS, Mario Party Island Tour, Mario Party 10, Star Rush in the Balloon Bash mode, minigame match from the top 100, and Super Mario Party, I always pick Mario as a actual playable chosen thing, even though I did not meant to say things like that because I somehow got distracted by, you know what I mean, the lack of aiming the snowballs and everything else like that, because I seriously swear to Christ, I really hoping they're able to have a lock-on cursor, because that way it makes it a little bit easier and such. Or should I say so for this point, is the fact that I could able to potentially replay through Dream Snowball Fight any day from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games in the Vancouver 2010 one in the Nintendo Wii version, so maybe because I'm used to it that, I must be honest here. Oh, and also during that time is the fact that after all, we're on the 9th of October, as I said earlier, that we only got about 20 days to go until specifically Mario Party Superstars for the Nintendo Switch is going to be releasing. So even then though, yeah, fingers crossed to see how that game's going to be represented for, especially noticeable how the fact that we're still hoping that they'll add a lot more content, especially noticeable that, you know, online play, and also bring back classic boards from the classic Mario Party games, ranging from the N64 era. So I was really excited with that game still. So yeah, you probably get the idea about that solution. So, and it looks like Waluigi does manage to gut himself his good dice rolls, because regardless of such though, since that we still need to get away from Bowser during that time, and basically that we do definitely need some of these occasional mushrooms so that way we can get away from him. So, and then until when it gets to daytime though, then we can probably able to use the mushrooms most of the time for trying to meet up with DK and stuff like that. So hopefully that should be the case here. 4 and 6 makes 10. So, and obviously as you notice is that, well, after all, I'm still playing as Mario for the sake of the forms of that finale boards in certain Mario Party games as usual. And also I did manage to bring back Luigi ever since in Snowflake Lake. And also I managed to bring back Waluigi from, I would say the last time we seen Waluigi was actually from Fair Square, I'm pretty sure. And Wario from the likes of Snowflake Lake. Because remember in the previous board, that I managed able to select, you know, Boo as a playable character, and the computer players are Mini Bowser and Toad and Toadette for the sake of the forms of some different variety on them. And I suppose that's pretty much all I can say about it. Okay, so it looks like Bowser's going to meet up with Wario, and sure enough, Wario needs to pay, or will lose, 20 coins. So, yeah, it definitely seems a bit similar to Castaway Bay, except rather than going onto the linear board. So because of that though, you're just gonna have to able to, well, you know what I mean. Now I get the feeling Wario might able to meet up with Bowser again, or even Waluigi might able to meet up with him, I think. Although I may be wrong, but we'll see what happens until the next turn. And no battle games to be found yet, but hopefully we'll get the gist of it. But still, we might able to actually still got plenty of chances by able to come across into quite a few battle minigames until whenever we get into the solo mode. So, but I'll explain more details about that again whenever I get into the forms of next Saturday and stuff like that. So So anyways, let's head back into Cannonball Fun again, so we can able to just do a one-on-one, or in this case, just do some constant shooting. So, yeah, that might be pretty much summarized as such. And I somehow managed able to done this flawlessly, because unlike the other 3 players, just managed to hover around like a morons, and then just didn't shoot any of those bullet projectiles at all, like not even a single shot. I mean, how lame is that? But anyway, I suppose aside from all that stuff, that's as far as I can say in terms of not only for today's discussion, but also about the fact that how this board plays out. Especially noticeable how the fact that, wow, I do like this board. I mean, usually it might not be perfect. I mean, there are a few times that you might get screwed over by, you know, certain dice rolls, like you get low numbers and all that stuff, and then most of the time that it just maybe seems the case after all, so yeah, you probably get the gist of it, so alright, so let's see what Waluigi gets. He gets a 4, and he doesn't go into that pipe because it's been closed and stuff like that, so there's a good thing we're going up there, even though sometimes that it's predetermined by random, if depending if either DK or Bowser manage to able to get up there, or even sometimes either left or right, depending on what direction they're going, so it's more likely it's just like a programming decide, or anything else like that, so although as far as I'm guessing correctly, although I may be wrong, but still. Let's have a look. Well, I definitely know that the Luigi's trap was actually over there, so God knows I might as well get a low number, or even just take a high number, if that might be alright for me. And let's see what's in the items. Let's go for this regular mushroom to purchase, and I think that should be all set. Although I'm really hoping that it won't be any, like, oh wait a second, what's this, capsule's gonna affect? Oh wait a second, it's the Paratrooper Orb. And I get the feeling I might as well land on one of those happening spaces there. Yep, it might as well take me to the happening space right from the start. That seems alright for me. And also you'll notice that several of other platforms on the Twilight side on the nighttime actually retains propellers, meaning about the fact that you would be able to expect that it will not break during that specific portions, so alright, so let's see what Wario's gonna do. He sadly meets up with Bowser again, but first of all, he's gonna purchase something from the item shop, which is the Metal Mushroom Orb. That seems kind of knowledgeable. And yep, he's gonna meet up with him, and somehow he's gonna lose all of his coins. Most notably 16. So it looks like Wario's gonna have himself his roughest run for this board, so far anyway. Oh god, what is Bowser's gonna go to right now? Almost right next to Waluigi's trap. Well, it's a good thing I did manage to able to get involved with the actual Paratrooper trap board, because otherwise that would definitely help me out. Especially noticeable for likely switching positions and all that stuff, so and meanwhile, Bowser gets a 9, and I get the feeling he'll meet up with Luigi, and sure enough, Luigi will lose all of his 20 coins, so the only thing that Bowser or DK does not do, and that is of course entering pipes, because otherwise they'll be constantly wandering around in the board normally, like on foot. So there's no way they'll able to use the warp pipes, depending if they're able to actually just do, well, you know what I mean. So now Bowser's over there, but until the next turn, we'll switch it back to daytime, and because of that, DK will take place. So that might be sure something. Alright, so let's see what minigame we're playing next. Snow World, but this time we're going to be playing this minigame in nighttime. So meaning that you can now able to see the Aurea in the background, which meaning if you see on the visual department right there, is pretty impressive. Although aside from that I wasn't particularly great at this at all, so, but that's just me. Oh yeah, something's worth mentioning for this point too is the fact that until tomorrow, for the sake of the 10th of October, tomorrow anyway, that the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic show is going to be, well, specifically, 11 years old. Like, seriously, 11 years old. I can't even believe time itself went flying. Well, we still managed to able to go ourselves the My Little Pony A New Generation on Netflix, which I found is actually a really good film. Although, it might take me a while to get used to with, like, memorizing the characters and all that stuff though, especially if I was being a nerd, by able to memorize the actual dialogue, because, I remember so fondly back in 2017 for 18 that I remember a lot of dialogues or lines from the My Little Pony the Movie 2017 version, and I just somehow never stopped remembering all these dialogue or even lines from that film, because I found that film really good as well. Even for likely for 4 years later, that it still holds up, for me anyway, despite critics might found it a bit meh. But apart from that, fans do enjoy it, myself included. Especially noticeable how the fact that it does have a really good box office, despite that. Well, besides the films that are low budget, but regardless of such though, I still found that a really good experience. So anyway, now we're going back onto the left, for that left direction we are going to, and now DK showed up, so that means we'll get our opportunities, that way we can get ourselves a star. Now, I was really hoping that that green pipe over there, I was expecting to go there, while DK was gonna meet us there. And somehow Luigi got thwomped by Waluigi's Thwomp Orb, Trap Orb, I should say. And let's see what Waluigi has to do. He's gonna place his spiny orb right over next to the dual space. Oh jeez, that might be sounds a bit, well, devastating to say the least, but still. Alright, so let's see what Waluigi has to buy. He buys a Super Shroom Orb. That seems a little bit more confidence, don't you think? And I somehow stopped him as well, to be able to not make him get progress. Although I was expecting, if I was going to predict something, is the fact that if someone managed able to went through my trap and everything, then it could potentially work out if they meet up with Bowser or something. Although maybe my plans have somehow failed. So I need 4, 5... Oh, wait a second, the Twister. I was expecting if that will be the Twister Orb Trap. Oh, shoot. I did not notice that was there. But I'll try my best if I was going to get good rolls. 6 and 8. That sounds alright. But my main concern is just the fact that with the Twister Orb is actually placed. And they'll just able to switch me around and stuff like that. Yep, it switches me over. But at the very least, I can able to go in here. And let me double check on the map. That red pipe. I'm curious about that red pipe. Although potentially speaking, I think it'll lead me to the top right. So yeah, I might not actually go there. So because of that, it's gonna have to ignore that and just focusing on the normal paths and stuff. So we can expect this much. Alright, let's see what Warrior has to do. He's not gonna use his orb yet, and he'll get an 8. And he's gonna hop into this green pipe. I was expecting if I was gonna go there, and then trying to able to let DK meet up with us, or meet up with us, then I should be alright and such, but regardless of such though, that's as far as I can say about it. Speaking of DK, it's his turn right now. And let's see what number he's gonna get. A 6. Oh yeah, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that this might actually be the only board that does not feature a DK space or the Bowser space. And it's a good thing we actually did manage to show off every single of those mini-games, clearly because in this board in particular it does manage to have none of those DK spaces or Bowser spaces located anywhere. So, well, it's until whenever we get into Mario Party 7 that we'll see that again. So, alright, so let's have a look. Oh jeez, I was expecting to be able to play Control Stick, but since we have not played that one yet, but nah, we'll just go for non-picked ones or something. So, or just maybe like, I have no words to say, because it has been like, you know, 7 days, you know, since the Castaway Bay video. But regardless of such though, we'll do Stand By Me, so let's see how this goes though, hey? And I just somehow messed it up, but hopefully I'll catch up for the amount of coins I was going to obtain. Oh, and unfortunately though, that this will be the last time for, well, you know what I mean, when it comes to forms of, what was I'm trying to say? Oh yeah, I think I already mentioned about this, didn't I? About the forms of, if someone lands on the same spaces as each other, to able to do a duel mini game until, you know, Mario Party Superstars. I just realized that the other 3 players managed to get tied for 2nd place. Although, thankfully, you don't need to participate in a tiebreaker dice roll kind of game, because thankfully, that you might as well still get some coins. So, let's see how much we got. 4 for the other 3, and I got 36. So, that seems cool amount for me. So, I'm alright with that. So, alright, so let's see. Let's see what Luigi has to do here. He gets a 6, the actual number of the title. And he's not going to go into this pipe, and he'll probably be going to land on a dual space. Let's see if we might as well able to go and get the new dual mini-game and stuff like that. Even though that we only get a bet for lesser amount of coins, like 3 coins, because he doesn't get that much due to Bowser and stuff like that. So, alright, let's see. We played 3 of these, so yeah, there's not much right to hum about, aside from the fact that we can still play full tilt. So let's see how this goes, hey, for the sake of this minigame. So, oh, and another thing is worth mentioning for this point as well, is the fact that I managed able to realize that, oh, what? My jump button does not work! How dare you do this to me, jump button? How dare you? How dare you do this to me? Oh yeah, and another thing is worth mentioning for this point too, is the fact that, generally speaking, is the fact that, actually there's not much else you can say, I'm afraid, because of, I've already mentioned about quite a number of things back in the forms of last week in, Castaway Bay, and as far as I'm aware, that I've not much else to talk about for the sake of, like, you know, other discussions to make, apart from, yeah, you know what I mean, some continuous Let's Plays we are still doing, but predictably, you know, Banjo-Tooie still, and also, Warrior Land 3, so we're at least expecting that we might as well able to get onto these uploading schedules quite slowly. But, regardless of such though, we've pretty much almost done with these Let's Plays, I'm pretty sure. Likely, like, I'm pretty sure I'm thinking that we're on the halfway point of these Let's Plays or something, even though I've seen the lost count because I somehow got distracted by, you know, other things worth noting for, but, you know, regardless of such though, that might be seems much, so. Alright, so Waluigi's gonna go into this green pipe, and, does he meet up with DK there? Even though, despite the fact that he hasn't got that much coins, so, yeah, he meets up with DK, but, you know, not enough coins, only 15 left until he gets the star. So, yeah. Also, I really like the music in this board as well. It feels a little bit more like a, King Arthur kind of vibe to it or something like that, even though I have no idea why I say things like that. But, anyway, so let's see on this map right here. I think getting to DK might be impossible for this turn, especially noticeable that I was going to be able to use my Mushroom Orb just in case, and hopefully I'm also able to guarantee to get a good... No, that's not good. That is definitely not good at all. Especially noticeable, it doesn't help about the fact that my rolls are quite stinky right there. Speaking of stinky though, is the fact that I really love Mario's taunt in this game, along with Mario Party 7. That's only because Mario's taunt is like, hey stinky, or something like that. That was actually the funniest taunt ever, especially noticeable. They constantly use that particular voice clip as a meme, and then basically though, they just managed to use that a lot. Mainly for like SMG4 videos or something like that, as an example. Oh man, he just managed able to use that Mario's line a lot, especially noticeable how hilarious that is, so... Anyway, so Sumo of Dumo again, so we've already experienced this already, so hopefully we would be able to win this again, and this time we compete against with Waluigi after that massive tie from the sake of the actual, like, well, you know what I mean, so hopefully I should be able to actually just do this. Come on, come on, knock it out. There he goes. Oh, wait a second. Thanks to that flump over there, it did manage to force to make those platforms crumble. I just realized that now. But anyway, that'll pretty much leads me up to 16 coins bonus, and I think I've almost at 100 coins and stuff like that. Well, despite, you know, Coinstar is not present here, so... But anyways, and speaking of the bonus stars, this will be the last time we're able to have a traditional bonus stars, like, you know, mini-game star to happening star tradition, like, always every time whenever you go into different boards. Because as far as I'm aware, until Mario Party 7, all the way up to Mario Party Superstars, that all these bonus stars rewards are randomized, so... Yeah, that seems worth noting for, especially notable when they first introduced that in Mario Party 7, and also say applies to Mario Party 8, that depending on what board you go into, then the bonus stars rewards are random. So because of that though, you might have some sort of like a kind of unfortunate chance by able to actually come across to some stuff like this. So yeah, that might be something you need to give a bit of a consideration for the sake of time. But anyway, so it looks like that DK might able to actually just go towards... Oh boy, he goes down. So I was really hoping until the next turn I should able to meet up with him. So I don't know which specific number I might as well get, but I highly doubt I will get 10 eventually, so... Alright, once again we're going back to Crate and Peril again, but this time I'm going to be going back in the box, so... Well, at least as far as I usually can recognize that from the start, so... So anyways though, let's just go ahead and do this here. Oh, and another thing is worth mentioning for as well is the fact that ah, dang, I just got cornered this time! I haven't exactly predicted that, and as also it doesn't help about the fact that I started off with the most awkward spot as possible. So, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate, but at the very least we'll let Warrior win that. Especially noticeable that he was actually in second place so far. Even though I was expecting if we win this, because after all Waluigi's definitely in 4th place right now, thanks to the forms of that duel minigame that I somehow won, and also got screwed over by, to be honest with you, not much screw up moments like this. I mean... Surely that's all I can say about it. Alright, well, Luigi gets a 9, and potentially speaking, he's probably not gonna meet up with DK because he got involved with the Twister Orb. And then he's gonna land on the red space, as to be expected. Alright, let's see what Waluigi's gonna do. He's gonna place another Spiny Orb right over there. Oh man, he really wants to get those coins so badly if someone, well, trying to land on it though. I wonder what that red pipe leads into. Oh, right over there. Okay. So, yeah, let's see what's on the map. I'm really hoping I can get ourselves a higher roll from here. But first of all, let me just place that Twister orb right over there, just in case if we're able to let someone get involved in that stuff. 6. Is this any good? I don't know, but we'll see what happens there. Does that give me enough chance? Yes, it's enough! Yes! Finally, my first star in this board. Ah, thank you gods for able to give me a pretty decent number roll at least. At least way better than 5, because if I get 5, I will be really screwed right there. But anyway, let's see what DK is gonna go to. He's almost right near to that happening space over there. So God knows, if he might be able to use the banana eventually, then he'll meet up with me and I'll get the 2nd star eventually too. I mean, God knows if some chances will happen. Although if not, then, oh yeah, because of the forms of that fork in the road, that depending if he either goes up or down, so that could be something. Alright, so let's see what DK is gonna do. And of course we'll go for a 2 versus 2 minigame. Oh, he's not gonna use his banana. But that's okay, because until the next turn it's gonna be nighttime, so he'll change it to Bowser. So because of that, it's a good thing that he's not gonna use the banana, so that's good for me. Alright, 2v2, and let's see what minigame we are going to be playing next. We've already played these, but at the very least we can able to do this minigame again. So, time to do some more button mashing sequence again. So, anyway, yeah, aside from that, there's not much else I can say because of how the fact that, well, yeah, I've already mentioned quite a lot of things during the past few weeks. So, especially notable with the forms of, you know, as far as the mentioning about how the sport goes. So, oh, jeez Louise. Seriously, there's gonna be a lot of constant switching buttons and also a ridiculous amount of button mashing too. So, yeah, you might as well expect to see that a lot for the majority of the time. Certainly no new record, but that's okay, because we already got that since the very beginning of this Let's Play, so... Even though I was expecting to be able to set these CPUs on hard mode, but this is still on normal mode I'm talking about there, so I might be alright with that. So as far as my, another discussion I would like to be able to discuss upon, that is something to do with the forms of what's my next film I'm about to be seeing on the big screen, mainly on the cinema for instance. To be honest, not much, aside from the fact that with, the Sonic movie should be on its way until, you know, next year in 2022. In fact, we haven't got that long though until that film's about to be releasing. I think we've only got about in exactly 6 months time now, so because of that though, we can expect we can able to actually see some things will happen. And it looks like a good thing for Waluigi right there, because he managed to ignore Bowser right there, thanks to that green pipe over there. And I'm really hoping I can able to get involved with that green pipe as well. Ah, darn it! But at the very least we can able to land on another happening space, which actually changes the colors of those pipes. So these two right there is inaccessible. So, yeah, that might be something, I suppose. I'm hoping that the green pipe will actually lead me to the exact same way as what Waluigi already done, so... Alright, so it looks like Wario managed to place his, you know, trap orb somewhere, so, yeah, that seems something. And he's not gonna go in here because that's where Bowser is. So, good thing for Wario he ignored that. Especially noticeable, he really wants to save up for his coins until, well, everyone else meets up with Bowser. No, DK again. I almost said Bowser for some reason because I keep thinking of, well, Mario Party 10. Actually, kind of thinking about it, this particular moment right there when Bowser just managed to walk around the board, it does remind me of Mario Party 10. Except the fact that, unlike in Mario Party 10 in Bowser Party mode, that's all gonna be linear. Whilst in here, it's all about just, well, walking around the board, rather than just linear and all that stuff, which is kinda swell if you ask me, so... Alright, draft rafts, but this time we're gonna be playing this minigame in nighttime with the actual visual changes here and there. And as I mentioned this earlier, is the fact that the only difference is between day and night is that in daytime we need to avoid spiny shells, whilst in here we need to avoid plutterboos. So that could be something more accurately some considerable reason for the time. So hopefully we should be able to actually just, you know, go cross through these little things itself. And somehow the other 3 players are an idiot, and I somehow only one made it. Huzzah for me. And I believe we're now on the halfway point in terms of Clockwork Castle, so yeah, it looks like we almost done for this point.